Well, which way is the E-mini going to go? It's really, really, really been another one of those days. I mean, there's not too much that we can talk about. We came in thinking that the short would set up first. It took a while. There's the first one. So move, pause, move. So right here on our move, pause, move, we're actually able to get the trade off at 575 on a sell stop when that market came off. We were trying to get 2102.75s and it traded there. Then we just sat and sat and sat and we took 2 points and that was that. Another trade kind of comes in here, gives you a mean green trade, goes one tick below that bar's low. Market holds, back up. I mean, this is just, you just get chewed up in these areas. Then finally, you know, the market comes back up and lo and behold, it stops there. So just really, really, really difficult trading. On the last update at 1 o'clock, we said that we should retest this high, should try to trade up. It did trade up, but we did not retest that high. So once again, it's just really, really, really tough trading. And this was a trade that put money in your pocket pretty quickly. This was a trade that put money in your pocket. And the rest of the day, I mean, it's just there hadn't been anything there. Fortunately, we were able to talk. We were live when this came up, and we were able to identify the trade. It's an RTF, and able to spend 12, 15 minutes working the trade and talking about what we were looking at, which is really, really good. It helps us grow. And again, you'll find that when you come back and you take a look at your trading, at the end of the day, your assessment on a trade that's not developing to get out at the correct time and scratch, put a little money in it as opposed to hitting your stop, you'll find that that's going to be your best trade of the day. I mean, you read it correctly, you had everything there, and you did make the right decisions. And the trades that work, you don't get a lot out of them. I mean, they were supposed to work. So here we are. We got ourselves an inside day. This favors a trading range. It looks like the Greek decision, the next one will come by the end of the week. There was a press conference between Merkel and the new premier or president of Greece. I don't know what he is, title-wise. And, yes, the model of cooperation, we're going to get a deal done, but it hasn't been done yet. So that's where we find ourselves right now. So this one favors a trading range tomorrow. Not a lot of news to drive tomorrow's trading. CPI, core, FA housing index, and new home sales. So the focus, in my estimation, or my guess, would be new home sales. And those numbers have been coming in lower than forecast. Pretty concerning. Okay, on the F2 screen, I'm going to do a day session. It's inside the congestion area. It's clearly a B. If we take a look at, if we fold all this over, it's a P. So we don't have a clear-cut action today. That tends to favor trading range. So the sell's the same as it was this morning. Sell failure to take out 2105 and hold that level. And number 2 will be 9 to 11. On the buy side, for Globex, the overnight sessions could be 2100 plus or minus, and then 95.97 for buy 2. And we'll be able, I'm pretty sure, be able to come in and take a look at it in the morning. I don't think a lot can happen overnight. Famous last words, all right? Barring a piece of news that is instantly recognizable, even by novice traders. Now, all this government manipulation with the markets around the globe, what happens is you create a monstrous distribution where you've, in this case, spent years in a trading range. And when the market is, the more time you spend in development, when the market finally moves, the bigger imbalance you have created. So markets are actually better off, having quick moves, consolidation, quick moves, consolidation, and kind of go back and forth through the entire trading range, as opposed to being stuck at one price. So the Fed is creating a situation that if the market ever does or is allowed to move to the downside, it could get pretty ugly. The doom and gloomers are out there talking about how ugly it can be. Everybody's scratching their head. Everybody knows that it can't go on forever, but nobody knows how long it's going to last. I mean, we never do. So that's always the issue. When will it happen? The timing. Timing is everything, and it's what makes day trading difficult, because your timing has to be superb. Okay, we've got a higher low, higher high. The market can trade higher. What do we have going on tomorrow that might take the market up? The 2-year auction. And if they can get an auction greater than 3.4 to 1, we should close the market strong tomorrow, and they got a pretty good chance of doing that. So the 2-year auction tends to take the market up under any and all circumstances. It's where the cowards go to execute their orders, and they don't have to explain it to anybody. They're not affected by bad prices. They get their money back in 2 years, and they can start all over again. It's a 2- and 3-year paper for banks and people that are worried about net asset value, mark to market. It's where they end up, and that's why those issues are always well bid. Same situation we had this morning. If we can't get through 28 to the buck, we want to sell failure. It worked out pretty well for us today. We also came in wanting to buy 21s to 17s, and that looks reasonable. If the E-mini breaks, we'll have to get in this 25 area, but I don't think the E-mini is going to break tonight. So we had a 17 to 21 buy. The low was 20. We had a 27 to 31 sell. The high was 28.5. Pretty hard to get it much closer than that before the fact. And we do this pretty regularly in the note. We have more than a sharp pencil, and we know this market. Boring, Charles. Can't trade it. It takes patience. It takes a long. It's not like being in the E-mini or gold or the other faster moving contracts, but depending on the number of contracts that you trade, you can make as much or more money in the note as you can in the others. You just gotta put more positions on. So we'll come in tomorrow with a buyer's bias tomorrow. The knob spread came in a little bit today, not a whole lot, but a little bit, and we got the 2-year auction tomorrow. So we're at 01. Last rotate down stopped at 29, so we'll put a buy 25 to 29, where we were today. That was our buy number 2, and then 21 to 17 for buy 2. 25 to 29 for buy 1. On the sell side, 7 to 11 and 15 to 19. And that does it for the 30-year. But if you haven't considered trading the 30-year, when the E-mini goes dead, they're driven by the same thing, but you can see that the bond and the note are driven by that piece of fundamental news. It might change your mind, and when the E-mini goes dead like this, I mean, the bond just beats it. Even when the E-mini is active, there are very few days that you can't make as much in the bond as you can make in the E-mini with a higher degree of certainty. I know the E-mini, go-with markets have a great appeal, especially to beginning traders. And that appeal is that you can put a trade on and you're instantly rewarded. Okay, we drew this 90 area right here. If we got through that, we're headed up to 97, right up into this area right here. There's our tractor. So our first sell is going to be 90 to 92. It looks like we can go higher, though. So that's where resistance is right now. But I think this 95 to 97 area offers us more opportunity. And no impact on the market. So what are they doing out there? Is it the ETF comes through in that kind of size, Laramie, and everybody expects it, and it's there? A 500 lot on the opening would make a difference. Do you see 500 lots on the opening and go? 85, 87 by 1. Very, very aggressive. 80, 82 by 2. And appreciate you sending that to me. One of the neat things about trading is that every day is a new day. It's always the same, but it's always a little bit different. What's the same is that you got to do the work, got to make your assessment, you got to figure out the trade, then you got to trade your methodology. That's what's same. But the circumstances that create those conditions are always a little bit different, and that's what keeps you over time coming back to the table. Okay, crude had a hell of a rally today, even in the face of the Saudi announcement that we're lifting 10 million barrels a day, more than we did last month. We plan to continue doing it. Oh, we'll be willing to cut back our production if everybody else cuts back too. And Saudi Arabia has been the only one, and Kuwait have been the only two producing countries that have ever cut back to save the rest of OPEC's hide. And everybody else has taken advantage of that largesse. So they just said, yeah, we'll talk about cutting back, if you will, which means it won't happen. Okay, I went back and did some of the numbers. Above ground storage at Cushing, I got 54 million. Think about that, 54 million barrels. And their total capacity is 70. That's a lot of crude oil. Normally in the United States, above ground storage gets down to the 340s and up to the 380s. But because we have so much extra production in the United States, they've been taking the inventory levels down. And in the old days, it would have brought quite a bit of buying. But because of our extra 3 million barrels a day of production, people don't have to worry about where they're going to get that extra 3 million barrels per day. Okay, 47.50 to 75, sell 1. 48 to 48 and a quarter, sell 2. Buy 1. 46.50 to 75, buy 2. 46 and a quarter. And who knows what the fundamentals are that are driving crude oil, right? On a day-to-day basis. I do like the short side of the market better because we are producing more than we are consuming, and it's being stored above ground. Okay, I guess Friday's the day that Greece has to put up or shut up. And we'll see if that actually happens. We are scheduled to have our first line of thunderstorms come through our area tonight. No tornadoes. There's no dry line out of Colorado, so we'll be there. Okay, 975. Let's them go a little bit higher. My guess is they're going for stops above 10, so we'll make S1 selling 110 even. S2 110.30 to 40. The breakout came from 20, so we'll have a 20 to 30 buy, and then the buck. And I hopefully we can get up this 110, 111 area to set up another great short when the Greek news gets out. whatever it happens to be. And my guess is they're going to do exactly what they're told to do because they don't have any choice. If for all of us who have been in those situations where somebody else held all the cards and you were dependent upon their kindness of heart to get what you needed to keep going, we all know how that story has ended for us. And so Greece will end up ponying up and signing. But if they screw around too long, it might come at a bigger cost. Hey, that's it for March the 23rd, 2015. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. I hope you all have a great evening. I plan on it. I'm out of here.